Some of you might have seen that I ask you guys to send me some pictures if you want to be featured in one of my upcoming future videos where I'm basically analyzing, your cases. I've done quite a few in the past when I'm looking at the, hair transplants, your before and afters, or your hair loss situation, and give you my general best idea of what I think is best to do for you personally. A lot of people finding it really useful because they finding themselves in a very similar position and gives them more understanding of what's possible and what are their limitations. So today we're going to be looking at another case that one of my subscribers sent me over, and he's mainly concerned about poor or lack of growth at 3.5 months after his hair transplant. Let's do it. I'm currently approaching 3.5 months, but so far the progress is very not noticeable, and I'm afraid the transplanted hair are either not willing to come out or they are already been shed. Before we go moving any forward, 3.5 months, as you know, as you've seen probably from thousands of videos online, including my own, there is no growth. It's absolutely normal. The usual hair growth timeline for a transplant for like an average patient basically is going to be from 0 to 4 months. You should expect nothing, and from month roughly 3.5 maybe 4 months, and from month 4 moving forward you should only start seeing some hair transplanted hair growth. Meaning this is the reason why they're calling it shedding phase or ugly duckling phase. When you're receiving the transplant, they're shaving your head, they're implanting all of these new grafts. It looks great, nice and clean, especially when the scabs are gone. You got all of this new hair and they're growing even a little bit. But then between 2 and 4 weeks after your hair transplant, your transplant hair starts shedding. And then most of it, like roughly 90% of the hairs, transplanted hairs, will shed and you look like a ugly duck. So in this case, what happened? All of the hair, transplanted hair, were moved at the same time to a new location, and their hair growth cycles basically been reset at the same time. They had a trauma, they don't understand what's happening, they've been relocated to grow at somewhere else, and they realize, wait a second, I'm in a different place. What's going on? Let me shed. They're going into the catagen phase, when the hair is detaching from the root. Then they're going into the telogen phase, where the hair is basically falling off completely and it's not growing and not producing any new hair follicle at the time. And it lasts usually up to 3 months. Telogen phase lasts up to 100 days, so roughly 3 months, give or take. That's where this timeline goes basically. The first 2, 3, 4 weeks maybe after transplant you still have some hair, then you shed, and that's why 3 months after that, roughly 4 months after your hair transplant, that's when you start to see new hair growth. He then goes on with, I was known with 4 to 5, had the hair transplant in South Korea, 3,200 grafts, 2,000 crown, 1,200 temples. No medication or minoxidil so far. That's not a good idea. I'm sure maybe you have your own reason, but you have to be really careful with this kind of decisions. I know I need to wait till 6 month mark, but 3.5 months still bold is still worrisome. You know what? Just go ahead, check out my videos. I'm gonna put the link in the description down below, and also just over here, have a look at this video where I'm basically showing my whole hair transplant timeline when I'm discussing my first transplant. It's great. You're gonna realize that you're not alone. Pretty much all of us are in the same boat. So looking at his pictures, it's actually not that bad. He said he's Norwood 4 or 5, but he's actually progressing towards Norwood 4 or 5, but he still have quite a lot of hair. So I would definitely suggest to look into finasteride, especially finasteride and minoxidil, to stop further progression of male pattern baldness, because I can clearly see right away from this picture that he's gonna become probably Norwood 6 easily. Why? Because you can clearly see the outline of where the hair is darker, thicker, more of it, and where the hair is much like lighter, it's thinner, and in general it's less of it in the same area. It's like a much lighter area, the whole front, and where the thick donor area starts, that's basically Norwood 6 outline. So if you don't want to progress eventually into this area and become slick bald all over this area, minus obviously the transplant, you have to be on medication, finasteride, dutasteride, any kind of DHT blocker. But so far it looks pretty good. Just covered, closed the temple peaks, did some crown work. The picture's quality is not ideal, is not the best, but he said 1,200 grafts only in the hairline, which is not really a lot for this quite big area. For this area, I would, expect, maybe even 2,000 grafts to achieve really great density. But it also depends how much, how many hairs he had in that area to begin with. All right, and this is 3.5 months after his transplant, and of course, yes, okay, I see his concern. Absolutely normal thing to be worried about it at this stage. It's just nothing happened. Like I said, shed the hair, and where is the transplant hair? Why it's not growing? Where is it? It will grow if it's been done correctly. If you did your research, you trust your doctor is great, it should grow just fine. So you just have to stick with it and wait. And I can right away see that there's some, like a smaller, really tiny, like a darker, thicker hairs sprouting all over the place. So some of these hairs that are longer, they're thicker, they are indeed probably transplanted, because not everything gonna shed. However, it definitely there, I see quite a lot of them in this area all over the place, starting to sprout. So this is the initial stage of hair growth. And trust me, from now on, you will see lots of growth, or you should expect to see lots of growth, pretty much almost on a weekly basis, realistically on a monthly basis. So the worst time is behind you. You should look forward for the upcoming months. And in terms of hair loss, definitely there is a lot of thinning going on. Even the forelock is gonna go eventually. So you have to definitely look into the medication, because it might end up really bad, And yeah, the crown from here looks definitely literally like a bald spot. And I would suggest, to be honest, just to have a proper haircut. Just trim everything, buzz everything down to I don't know, 1 millimeter or something. Make a buzz cut. You're gonna look much better, because right now it looks a bit strange. And then after maybe another couple of months, you can start growing them, and more hair at the same time will be growing at the same length, and it's gonna look overall much better. And yeah, you mark this area, but yeah, like I said, going off by my videos. And okay, here is me at around, what was it, 3 months, March. So it was okay, it's not 3 months, almost 3 months, 2.5 months. Like, I was looking like a freak. It was no hair, it's just very casual hair, here and there. Just look at that, so many empty bald spots all over the area. It looks horrible, to be honest, It doesn't look great. So you're definitely, it's just a normal, thing, and you just have to kind of push through it. But like I said, the worst part is behind you. The crown is the area that is usually growing a little bit slower than any other area, like hairline, for example, only because there's a little bit less blood circulation, but it should not be delayed as much as doctors make you believe. So yeah, I would expect crown start growing like few weeks, maybe up to a month, a little bit after you see initial gains from the hairline. But yeah, I already can tell, look at this, like freaking thick, the graft, just one. But there is here, you see these ones, they're so tiny, they started sprouting here, this one. These are basically the very first grafts that are popping through. And all of these holes that you see here, all of these holes, this is where the hair is supposed to be, growing at some point. So yeah, everything gonna be fine. Just don't worry, don't stretch it out. And yeah, some more pictures of your crown. Actually, crown is dipping really low. It's definitely Norwood 6, maybe even Norwood 7. I would worry about it. So I would definitely, explore the medication. Even if you try it and you cannot tolerate finasteride, dutasteride, I don't know, try something else. Try, alpha-tridal. Try, fluoridil. Try something else, topical antiandrogens that, can do something, because, you need to keep on what you have. And looking by the work, it actually looks pretty good. I see some, the hair directions changing, due to area of the hair growth. So to be honest, looks really clean and great job, especially so that's the cowlick, so-called. And then here, just moving towards the back, towards kind of this left side here, towards the front. Really nice implantation angles. Really nice and looking clean. So just judging by the job, that looks pretty good, pretty clean. I would assume it should be just fine. You just have to, be patient and, just stick with it. It might take a while. Some people start growing a bit longer, later after 5, maybe even 6 months, but you have to just stick to it, and, it's gonna happen. So please keep me updated on your, on your journey, and whatever you guys watching currently right now. Don't stress out. It's 3.5 months. It's just early days. But the best thing about it, like I said, the worst part is over, and you should start seeing some, hair sprouting through basically on a weekly basis. So I'm pretty sure gonna be more confident in months to come. So keep me updated, and if you other of you guys want to get my opinion on your hair transplants, on hair loss, make sure to send me a link in on my email, which you can find on About page or on my YouTube channel, and drop the comments down below if you got any questions. I'm always happy to answer. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.